I hear voices. Hopefully they're human.
And this is the core. And we can descend into the core in this unique structure, unlike the other pyramids.
There have been many strange objects found by scientists under the pyramids, but recently, news of a mysterious golden lid has left scientists terrified.
It was cutting higher than here, which is also repeated here. Yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful pattern.
Is this a sacred relic, or is it part of an ancient technology that we have forgotten? Join us as we explore each site, like Zawyet El Aryan and Hawara, looking for intriguing clues and pondering the mysteries that are waiting to be solved. Located about 5 miles southwest of Giza, amidst a rarely visited cemetery known as Zawyet El Aryan, lies a strange site that many believe may hold the key to unlocking some of the greatest mysteries of ancient Egypt. In 1900, Italian Egyptologist Alessandro Barsanti came to survey the Layer Pyramid. However, he quickly became disappointed as the structure had completely collapsed, lacking any mummies, artifacts, or traces of rituals. Barsanti theorized that it had been abandoned after the death of the king who had constructed it. On his way back to Giza, he chose a different path along the plateau and noticed broken granite fragments and pink limestone dust scattered on the ground. These were unusual. Granite is an expensive, difficult material to work with, and there would be no reason for it to appear there unless it had once been used for a very important structure. Barsanti returned with a small group and began excavating. Within just 2 days, they discovered a massive limestone pit, sealed with heavy stone blocks weighing tons. At a depth of 21 meters, the first pink granite block emerged. For Barsanti, this was evidence that there was an architectural structure hidden beneath that needed to be explored. The excavations continued until February 1905, when they found a 30-ton granite block at the bottom of the pit. Nearby, they discovered inscriptions carved into the stone. But when they sent copies to scholars in Giza and Cairo, no one could decipher their meaning or origin. This further convinced Barsanti that something was being concealed. Then, he unearthed an inexplicable object, an oval-shaped container, intricately carved from pink granite, polished to a mirror-like finish, and sealed with layers of lime and clay. When opened, it contained nothing but a thin layer of black residue. Barsanti speculated that it once held a liquid related to rituals, medicine, or something entirely beyond modern understanding. Despite technical difficulties and a lack of funding, Barsanti persevered. However, by 1906, he was forced to halt his work. He passed away in 1917, leaving the mystery unsolved. Decades later, 2 Italian scholars resumed his unfinished work. Unfortunately, in 1964, the Egyptian government suddenly sealed off the area, turning it into a military base. Since then, no one has been allowed access. This abrupt lockdown raised many suspicions. Why prohibit access just as interest was rekindling? Anyone who has worked in Egypt knows that the Antiquities Council tightly controls everything. With enough bakshish, you can see many things. But any research must receive official permission. No ground-penetrating radar, no drones, no excavations without paperwork. Today, the area is entirely under military control, and according to many reports, is being used as a garbage dump. Ironically, the site that once appeared majestically in the film, Land of the Pharaohs, is now just a forbidden, abandoned wasteland. Until the end of his life, Barsanti remained convinced. This could not just be a foundation. If it is indeed the base of a pyramid, why transport pink granite from Aswan, nearly 600 miles away? Why join stones with such solid mortar that they cannot be disassembled? And why craft such an exquisite container if it was merely to be empty? And many believe that Zawyet El Aryan could be the hidden piece that links to deeper secrets beneath the Great Pyramid of Giza. What do you think the granite container really was? Please choose the answer and comment below. A. Ritual object. B. Medicine holder. C. Ancient technology. D. Just symbolic. For centuries, the Great Pyramid of Giza has sparked countless theories and debates. The conventional belief is that the pyramid was built as a tomb for Pharaoh Khufu, but the lack of found remains, treasures, or artifacts inside has led many researchers to question, could the pyramid have served another purpose? In the 1960s, researcher Edward Kunkel proposed a hypothesis. The Great Pyramid was not a tomb, but rather a gigantic water pump designed to irrigate the arid desert surrounding it. According to this theory, the rooms and passages inside the pyramid could have been configured as a hydraulic system operating on gravity and water pressure. Although initially met with skepticism, this hypothesis was later reconsidered by some engineers thanks to the principles of hydraulic ram pumps. By the 1990s, marine engineer John Cadman expanded on Kunkel's theory. Through meticulous study of the pyramid's underground chambers, Cadman noted signs of water damage. After creating a scaled model based on that structure, he confirmed the system's potential to function as a water pump. Notably, Cadman also discovered that the compressive pulses from the system could generate electrical energy, leading to a promising hypothesis. The ancient Egyptians may have harnessed energy from the pyramid in a way that is only now beginning to be understood. The structural elements of the pyramid also support this hypothesis. The outer casing, made of white limestone, provides thermal insulation, while the inner granite can conduct electricity. Even the stone layer at the top, thought to have been gilded, has been studied from a new perspective as part of an energy collecting system. With this view, the Great Pyramid is not just a magnificent architectural feat, but could also represent an advanced technology that has been lost to time. Of particular note is the connection between the findings at Zawyet El Aryan and the potential water pump system of the Great Pyramid. Some hypotheses suggest that the deep pit and structural components discovered by Barsanti might be part of an ancient energy network. Additionally, other structures, such as those at Abu Ghraib, with a 180-foot deep pit leading to the water table, have been linked by some experts to the pyramid's water pump system. It has been suggested that the unique geological features may have led ancient architects to choose this location as a discharge point, where water was systematically channeled. The massive granite choke point could be the system's valve, intricately regulating the flow. Some researchers believe this construction may date back to pre-dynastic times, later recognized and repurposed by the kings of the Old Kingdom in a special way. They might have realized that water from the earth, even if it flows slowly, could form a crucial life source integrated into a structure of ritual significance, or even a form of advanced energy that ancient people harnessed. However, according to other theories, the system's stability was not always easily maintained. There may have been a period when water pressure surged unexpectedly, exceeding control capacity, and to protect the structure, the builders chose to completely seal the entrance, closing it with mortar, lime, and rubble. This was a last-ditch effort to prevent the destructive force of the powerful water flow from completely obliterating the temple, or system. While many questions remain unanswered, these hypotheses stimulate the curiosity of the community. For enthusiasts of alternative archaeology, numerous inquiries have been raised. Why use granite instead of limestone? Why bury this system? Was ancient technology more advanced than today's world? Located near the Fayum Oasis, the Hawara complex today consists only of crumbling ruins. However, in the past, It was one of the most astonishing constructions ever described in ancient history. The famous Greek historian Herodotus compared the labyrinth at Hawara to the great temples and pyramids of Greece, asserting that they were completely overshadowed by the scale and sophistication of this structure. For centuries, many modern scholars viewed these accounts as exaggerations. However, time and archaeology have prompted scholars to reconsider. One of the clearest pieces of evidence emerged in the late 19th century when British archaeologist Flinders Petrie discovered two colossal seated stone statues at Hawara, just as Herodotus had described when discussing the pyramids rising above Lake Moeris. Each statue stands about 18 meters tall, made from quartzite, a stone so hard that it is difficult to work with using classical tools. But the statues were just the beginning. Petrie quickly realized that the Hawara pyramid was unlike any other pyramid ever built in Egypt. The entrance was not located to the north, as was traditional, but to the south, and was designed with two parallel ramps, resembling the paths used to transport heavy materials. He theorized that this structure may not have been originally intended as a tomb, but had been completely repurposed over time. Inside, Petrie discovered a system of trapdoors with heavy stone slabs weighing tens of tons cleverly positioned to seal off passages. Most notably, the central chamber was carved from a single block of stone, weighing over 110 tons, containing a sarcophagus inside, but lacking any inscriptions, symbols, or names. For royal tombs, this was quite unusual. Finding no ancient writings or treasures, he only unearthed charred bones, charcoal, and blackened remnants of granite. It appeared that the site had experienced a severe fire. Petrie also found a second, smaller sarcophagus, which was crucially placed there after the fire occurred. This led him to wonder whether the pyramid had been reused. If so, what was its original purpose? Near the pyramid, Petrie discovered the foundations of a much larger structure. According to him, the labyrinth comprised 3,000 rooms, part of which lay above ground, while the rest plunged deep underground, serving as a burial site for sacred deities. He was not permitted to enter the underground chambers, but what he observed on the surface was enough to astonish him. Notably, the labyrinth's structure seems to be misaligned with the nearby pyramid, tilted at an angle of about 20 to 25 degrees. This could be evidence that the labyrinth was constructed long before the pyramid was built. If true, it may be a rare remnant from an ancient pre-dynastic era, a time when techniques, technologies, and systems of thought were vastly different from the ancient Egypt we know. To date, most of the labyrinth remains buried beneath thick soil and has not been thoroughly excavated. No one knows exactly what lies beneath. While many questions remain unanswered, Hawara continues to be an essential destination for anyone with a critical mind and a passion for seriously exploring alternative hypotheses. What might this labyrinth reveal in the future? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Share your opinions in the comments and join the discussion with everyone. Hidden deep underground near the Sphinx, the Osiris Shaft is a strange underground system known to few, yet it may be a foundational piece in the original layout of Giza. This structure descends 35 meters and consists of multiple levels and chambers, with the bottom level containing a granite sarcophagus surrounded by water. What's peculiar is that there is no descent, no staircase, and no inscriptions carved on the sarcophagi. The second level holds sarcophagi weighing up to 40 tons, made from a type of stone never seen anywhere else. Many blocks have disappeared, but the radiation levels inside are twice that of the outside. According to Professor Robert Temple, this radiation is strong enough to prevent decomposition, possibly utilized by ancient peoples as a natural preservation technique. One of the sarcophagi even has a lead lining to shield against radiation. Unable to date the site using traditional methods, Researchers used thermoluminescence techniques to measure the amount of electrons accumulated in the stone crystals since their last exposure to sunlight. The results indicate that some sarcophagi may date back to pre-dynastic times, far exceeding any conventional timelines for Giza. On the third level, another sarcophagus has been dated to around 2370 BCE, suggesting that this site may have been reused over various periods, each time for different purposes. Additionally, the water channel surrounding the Isle of Osiris remains full, even though it lies over 100 feet below ground. There is a groundwater conduit leading into this area, possibly belonging to an ancient hydraulic engineering system yet to be discovered. If true, its scale could surpass any known underground constructions in Egypt. The location of the Osiris Shaft is also not coincidental. It lies directly along the axis between the Sphinx and the Khafra Pyramid, possibly part of the original design at Giza, or even a precursor to all the constructions above. No one knows for sure what this structure was built for. However, with the evidence available, we understand that the Osiris Shaft, Hawara, and Zawyet El Aryan are anything but ordinary. If there is something to reveal about a lost civilization, it may very well lie right here. The search continues to unfold. Please subscribe to the channel and like this video. We will continue this journey into the mysteries that remain. Goodbye, and see you in the next videos.